Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Coffee Talk. My name is Mariah Kindle, and I am the Executive Witch here at Liminal Magic Events and your host for the Witches Education Conference coming up in Seattle on Beltane weekend, May 2nd and 3rd, 2020. In today's segment, we will be talking to Kelli Clair, our spiritual medium, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does, what she'll be teaching at the conference, and we'll have a conversation with Kelli. Welcome, Kelli. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So we will jump right in with the first. Tell us a little bit about your practice and your tradition and how long you have been practicing.
Perfect. So I am a psychic medium, but I'm so much more than that. I think people have to have a label. So if you have to label me, there it is. But I'm also a soul searcher. I help people find their soul paths, their destiny. I focus a lot on helping people find their own abilities and their own path within their abilities, how to expand it, how to grow within it, and how to live a normal life, well, as normal as possible within their abilities. I've been practicing about 16 years now. It's become more of it started in the beginning to be something I just love to do on the side, and then it's grown more and more and more into a full-time thing for me. So this is who I am on the daily now.
So how did you discover this kind of ability and your own vision for your future as you were, getting into this path?
So I've had my ability since I was 5 years old. It just kind of awakened, actually a near-death experience is what awakened it. But ever since, I knew there was something about me that was different. And it wasn't always accepted. As a child, it was absolutely not accepted by my family and, people around me. And so I considered it something was wrong with me. Something wasn't right. And it wasn't until my early 20s that I went, oh, there's something more to this that I really need to touch base on. I need to expand. And I just started diving into it and discovering who I was and what I could do and what my purpose was. And my purpose is to heal. My purpose is to heal not only the living, but the dead. And I work with both sides of that realm to do, I'm going to say amazing work. I'm quite proud of the work I do. And I'm just going to say my career and my path found me is the best way to put it. I realized there was something here and I had a really big niche for it. And I realized I was good at it. So I just let it happen. And every day I just continue to flourish and grow and take people along with me. If you want to learn, let's do it together. I'm still learning and evolving, and I consider myself the path of I'll be better tomorrow than I am today, kind of, But I really will say that my path chose me. It's the best way to put that. My future chose me.
I love that, actually. And I think that as I talk to more and more people who are kind of walking this path, that is the answer very often, for sure. So when you were kind of discovering your path, your vision, did you have mentors and teachers and guides to help you along the way?
Actually, in the beginning, no. I was all on my own trying to go, what the hell do I do with this? It's kind of funny. In the beginning, what I could do kind of seemed like a party trick. Like, oh, watch this, watch what she could do, And I was like, oh, okay, there's something to it. Well, it wasn't until I got really sick. I actually started developing really significant physical problems, physical illnesses and ailments and things that no doctor could explain, and no one could explain what was wrong with me. So it took me kind of searching and going, okay, what am I missing? What am I missing here? And one day my grandmother, who passed when I was 18, who is my world, she's always been my world, came to me and kind of said, hey, are you ready to accept who you are and kind of, quit, screwing around? And I was like, oh shit. All right, I get it. And all of a sudden it's like this light bulb just went off and I knew what I had to do. I was actually a very successful interior designer, had an interior design business, and kind of just went, oh, wait, this isn't my path anymore. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And I came home and told my husband, you know what? I quit. I quit. I'm going to turn everything over to you. And, I'll still kind of lead over here, but I need to focus on this. And I took about 2 years and just started reading and diving in and exploring myself and meditating and journeying and connecting to my guides and connecting to things I didn't even know existed. And it just kind of opened Pandora's box for me. And I had to just keep jumping down every rabbit hole I could find. And then I came across some really great mentors. But it wasn't until a few years in that I was like, oh, well, I've got to figure this out on my own because no one's going to do it for me. And I think this is why I am so passionate about teaching, because I don't want people to have to take the path that I took and go through the health problems and the soul searching on a level that it was brutal. And so for me to take my path and my learnings and my experiences and to put it into practice to help others find their path, then I'm doing my job. So as much as I love talking to spirit, because I'll sit and talk to grandma all day long, but my passion is helping people find their soul path within their abilities, because I thought I was happy before, but I didn't understand true happiness until I figured out who I was. And to find yourself on a spiritual level and to find yourself in complete unison with the universe and everything around you, it's pretty blissful. It's pretty amazing to be able to say you have achieved that. But I worked my ass off to find it. And so I want to help others find that same path and same journey without all the pain I had to go through. So that is where I am. And I have met some amazing mentors and peers and friends, and they've helped me get to where I'm at.
I think a lot of the speakers that we have at the conference actually talk a lot about that deep dive into the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
And lots of rabbit holes, because each
Mm-hmm.
direction we turn, there's new information, and it's really kind of fun to collect that information.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also amazing to have amazing teachers who
Mm-hmm.
have been through all of that and can work as a guide for us
Mm-hmm.
as we work down our path. So, since you are a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and you are speaking at the conference, talk to us a little bit about the classes that you're teaching at the conference.
So there's going to be 2. The first one is going to be opening your psychic and other abilities. So it's going to be talking about the different types of abilities and how to recognize them and access them and open them. It's teaching the foundation of the 4 C's, or the clairvoyant, clairsentience, claircognizant, teaching them the clairs and how that's a foundation, and helping you see which one you're strongest in. Find your strength, find your weakness, so you can learn to grow from them. Teaching you the basics that way. And then the second one will be more advanced, teaching you how to receive messages from spirit, teaching you how to receive messages from your guides and access them. And I'm also all about balance, helping you find your balance between mind, body, and soul, and helping you find your spiritual, emotional, and physical balance within your abilities. So we'll get into that a little bit in both of them, but more so in the second class, so you can live a harmonious life within your abilities.
I love the balance aspects of the class, for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Because I think oftentimes we see people who have mastered the ability to work with spirit and
Mm-hmm.
guides and ancestors, and they live in that world and don't have the balance of the real world, or the opposite, which, like me, I live in this world and sometimes struggle to connect. So
Right.
I love that. I love that you're bringing that balance aspect to this.
Yes. Yeah. It's really important to me. Without balance, it's chaos. I'm okay with a little chaos. I actually run in a little bit of chaos. I'm a Libra, so I don't like anything too set, but you have to have balance, or it's going to affect everything. So you have to have some form of balance. But I mean, I work with children as young as 3 too. So I work with children, helping them develop abilities, or maybe working with the empath abilities that are just too strong. And so I do find passion in it.
That's amazing. I love this.
You.
So the Witches Education Conference,
Mm-hmm.
we had a brief discussion over the summer, and when we talked, we knew that we wanted to create a very diverse group of speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think it's important for people to gather from different traditions to learn and grow from each other?
Oh, well, that's actually pretty easy because I am a firm believer that the second you think you know it all, you know nothing. So I think it's very important to learn all you can and jump in many different rabbit holes and many different paths of learning. Um, you're going to learn something you didn't expect. And I think the biggest thing is go into things with no expectations. If you go in with no expectations, you're going to get so much more out of it. So I feel like it is important to check out and to learn many different paths and modalities and ways of learning. You're going to grow so much more if you're open to new experiences, by far. I've learned so much just by listening and letting others show me their work. And it's helped me grow exponentially. So I encourage everyone to do that.
It has been, quite a journey as we go through our lives and talking with people from different traditions. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't always, clearly there's an aspect of taking what you need and leaving the rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much growth potential in
Oh,
bringing
absolutely.
a diverse group of people together and
Mm-hmm.
really having deep and rich conversations about
Mm-hmm.
their own path and their own traditions. So
Absolutely.
this is one of the most exciting things to me about the conference is this kind of really broad, very diverse group of people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the audience is really broad and very diverse. And I really like the idea of this connection.
I couldn't agree more. I'm actually so excited to take some of the classes myself. So I've already been mapping out my time. Okay, if teaching here, I can go jump in that class. So yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm just as excited to learn.
So speaking of that, what
Mm-hmm.
is the thing you're most excited about at the conference as a participant or a speaker?
Oh, I can't wait to meet the people. I want to make new connections. So that's what I'm excited about. I do feel like you vibe with your tribe. You'll find your tribe. Anywhere you go, you're going to find those people that you just connect to on a soul level, on a past life level, on, future growth level. There's so many different types of people. So I'm most excited to meet all the other practitioners and kind of get to know who they are as people. But I'm really excited about the voodoo class. I won't lie. I'm pretty excited to dive into that because I have a deep passion for that too. So I feel like there's a few classes I just can't wait to participate in and to learn from other practitioners, their method, their style, their way of teaching. Learning helps us grow. So I'm all for it.
So it's interesting that you're the second speaker to be really excited about Frederica Turner,
Yes.
who is doing the hoodoo and voodoo conjuring. She's doing those,
Uh-huh.
and you're the second person to be really excited about that. So
I
I'm going to try to get her on this Coffee Talk series so we can learn a little bit more
I would love that.
about what she is teaching. So
Love that.
let's see, what else do I have for you today? Is there anything you want to share with our audience today about what you do, your adventures in this, kind of moving forward in your practice and where you're going with this?
Well, I think moving forward in my practice, I'm a little open right now. I just made a huge move in my personal life too. Just moved states. I now live in Oregon, or I've lived in Utah my whole life. So my practice is shifting on its own. But I'm going to grow. I love the teaching aspect. I love the private readings. I do those 5 days a week. So I love that I get to channel spirit and people's loved ones, and I get to bring closure and messages, and I will never quit doing that. That is who I am. But I'm loving the way the teaching is taking a different role for me, which is really funny because one of my mentors told me about 5 years ago, she's like, do you realize you're going to teach? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Nope. I have no interest in that. She's like, no, you're going to teach big groups and do these. I'm like, nope, nope. 2 years later, I'm like, damn it, she was right. And so the last few years I started teaching, I've just found that I have a knack for it, but I'm really enjoying doing it. And I've also started a private mentorship program. So that's probably my newest venture is I've started doing one-on-one mentorships to really tap into a person's individual abilities, what they are, how they different from, a teaching group of 30 is so much different than teaching one. It's a one-on-one experience. So I'm really loving my new mentorship program I just started, and it's really taking off, and people are like, oh my gosh, this is just what I needed. So I feel like that is my big push right now and where I'm headed. So more mentorship.
That is very personally exciting.
Good. Let's do this, girl.
Right. And then I come along and say, hey, Kelly, you want to do a conference? And
Yes.
you like, I was stunned that you were like, yeah, I want to do 2 classes. I'm like, all right, you're in.
I was so good. Yeah. I was like, yep, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Let's do this. So I try to listen. I try to listen to my own stuff. It's so much easier to hear everybody else's stuff. And sometimes I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing what? So I try to listen, try to do what I'm supposed to do.
Perfect. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
joining us on this segment of Coffee Talk. This was so much fun. I'm
Really
totally going to call you later.
We should do it.
We should totally do this.
Let's do it.
Awesome, Kelly. Thank you so much. And for our audience, if you want to learn more about Kelly and the classes that she's teaching, please visit our website at witchyeducation.com. Take a look around at Kelly's information and the schedule and the rest of the panel of speakers that we have presenting on Beltane Weekend 2020. And with that, I will see you next time. Thank you.
You guys.